Hello and welcome to Football Treasury. This is week 3. Heartache, misery and nightmares continue for Arsenal and the club over the Seven Sisters Road. 8-2 it finished to Manchester United, a result that rocked the football world. Dark days indeed for Gunners fans. It doesn't get lower than this, let me tell you. So let's get to the match then, and the players who started the game for each side, there was a gulf in quality. It was there for all to see. Even the most optimistic of Gunners fans did not fancy a win from this one, particularly given United's imperious record at Old Trafford. Let's compare the two benches. Arsenal had Fabianski, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Chamakh, Lansbury, Mikel Ozukup and Sunu. Half of those players haven't started a Premier League game before. Yes, they're under 21 internationals. But this was up against United's bench, which consisted of Lindegaard, Danish international, Rio Ferdinand, Berbatov, £30 million man, Ryan Giggs, what can we say about him, Ji-Sung Park, Javier Hernandez and Fabio Da Silva. There was just a gulf in quality and alarm bells were ringing from the off. United ran rampant. Yes, Van Persie might have converted his penalty, Arshavin might have finished his one-on-one, but United could have had a hatful more as well. They ran rampant. Danny Welbeck did well for the opening, outmuscled Johan Djourou. Huge question marks over the Swiss defender. He's twice the size of Welbeck. Should have done much better there then. Ashley Young, what a brace from him. Fantastic standard of goals. Rooney got a hat-trick, all from dead ball situations. Those two free kicks were out of this world, so much praise must go to him because it was an all-out performance from the England man. He was all running. Even after he'd scored a hat-trick, he was tracking back. What a fantastic attitude he showed. Ji-Sung Park came on, he scored on 17 minutes. He always scores against Arsenal, we know. And Nani had a cheeky little chip over Szczesny and just compounded the misery for Gunners fans. Arsenal, of course, scored through Theo Walcott on half-time. Question marks again over David De Gea, and Robin Van Persie scored in the closing stages of the game. But in the end, it just wasn't good enough for Arsene Wenger's men. The only positive from the game, you might say, is that Arsenal fans were cheering their team from the end. Fantastic away support. And that's what it's all about. You must support your team in good times and bad, not just when the going is well. So, again, we might question the tactics from Arsene Wenger, not just the lineup, not just the fact that he sent lambs to slaughter, but he put these kids such as Jenkinson and Coquelin and Oxlade-Chamberlain in a position where they were going to get absolutely mauled by seasoned professionals. What does that do for their psyche? But tactically, he played far too high line against a side that had Nani, a side that had Ashley Young and Wayne Rooney, who are at Old Trafford, and we know they can exploit those spaces behind the defence so well. It was clear that that wasn't working. Why didn't he change it? He also took off Coquelin, who wasn't doing so bad. So we only had 2 midfielders left for Arsenal and 4 wingers, a striker. The formation was a mess. United exploited it, and they showed exactly why they're champions and favourites to make it title number 20 this season. Moving on then, and we are at White Hart Lane. Manchester City 5, Tottenham 1. They got absolutely mauled by City. It was 4-0, a hat-trick from Jaco and one from Aguero, who's both on scintillating form, before Younes Kaboul pulled one back. Jaco then added a 4th. He scored more than a perfect hat-trick. He got one with the right, one with the left. He got a header, top corner, poacher's finish. He just looks out of this world and looking worth every bit that £27 million City paid Wolfsburg for him. And it just shows you what competition for places can do. So total then, it was Manchester 13, London 3. Not good reading if you support a side from the north of the capital. Moving on then, Liverpool continued their good form. They got a 3-1 victory over Bolton. More good form from Luis Suarez, though he didn't get on the score sheet. But Jordan Henderson starting to prove why Liverpool paid Sunderland so much money for him. They got a good header through Martin Skrtel. Charlie Adam got his first goal in the Premiership for Liverpool. So big positives for the Reds there then. Even Klasnic spoiled the clean sheet on the day for Reina by scoring in the 91st minute. Positives for Owen Cole is that Klasnic keeps on scoring. Bolton did okay for spells in the game, but they'll worry about Gary Cahill, who had one of his worst games in the shirt. I think he's been unsettled by much of that transfer speculation going on about him. Will he still be there by next week? I'm not so sure. Looks like he might go to Tottenham at this stage. In other matches, it was a crazy 1-0 win for Everton. Not too much incident in the game, apart from all the missed penalties. Blackburn were awarded 2. The first was missed by Hoylett. The second was Formica, who hit the post. And then in the 91st minute, a little bit fortunately, Everton got their own penalty, which was converted by Arteta, and they walked away with all 3 points. Huge pressure mounting on Steve Kean. It looks like he could be the first to go there if things don't start improving rapidly. Chelsea got an important 3-1 victory over Norwich, and Norwich looked good value until the sending off. The scoring was opened after 6 minutes by Jose Pesingwa with an absolute screamer. Then the penalty happened. The Norwich keeper was given his marching orders. Frank Lampard converted it, but Grant Holt pulled one back, and he looked to outmuscle Terry and Ivanovic, so warning signs about Chelsea's defence perhaps. But debutant Juan Mata came on in the 91st minute and looked one hell of a player, which I think he will be. I made him captain of my fantasy team for good reason, but maybe I should have gone with Jaco. The only negative was Didier Drogba. What a horrible sight that was. He got knocked out. He fell from a great height, but we're told that he is recovering well, so good luck to you there, Didier. In other results then, Aston Villa played out a 0-0 with Wolves. Wolves continuing their good form, and Villa as well, going strong. I mean, clean sheets under Shay Given. He looks a cracking signing at $3.5 million, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Elsewhere, we had another 0-0, Swansea versus Sunderland. Swansea will be happy with that. Game could have gone either way. Sunderland still in need of a striker. Connor Wickham looks a little bit raw, and the highly thought of Hee Dong-won, I think maybe needs a little bit more time to adjust to the Premiership, or maybe just a few more chances. Also, a playmaker, in my eyes, would Sunderland need more creativity. I mean, they've signed well up to now, but Sessegnon doesn't seem to be doing it as the main creative force. They played him up front, they played him out wide. So I think Niko Kranjčar from Spurs would be a great signing. He looks to be available, especially if Luka Modric does decide to stay. Elsewhere then, we had Newcastle, another great result for Alan Pardew. They won 2-1 against Fulham. Dempsey scored for Fulham. Leon Best got both goals for Newcastle. Who says they need a striker then? Hey, they do. Demba Ba hasn't scored yet for them. Leon Best, they've played up there. Shola Amiobi. They need a bit more quality, but hats off to the players who are doing it for them in the meantime. Final result then, West Brom lost 1-0 against Stoke, and it was Shotton who got the goal for Stoke. Not a great result for West Brom there, at home, against a Stoke side who haven't played much exciting stuff away from the Britannia. They had that great result, of course, against Chelsea on the first day of the season. So the story of the weekend there, obviously, is the two London clubs getting destroyed. It really must be a painful time. It is for Arsenal fans, and since then Arsene Wenger has gone out and spent some money. He's bought in Park from Korea. It looks like Mertesacker will be joining. Many fans might have preferred Cahill, but with him, Mertesacker brings a wealth of experience. He's not too expensive. He's 6'6" and has played 76 times for Germany. It looks like Newcastle will bring in David Santon from Inter Milan. As I mentioned before, it looks like Modric might even stay at Spurs. Interesting stuff going on in the transfer market then. We've got one more day to go, and I think a lot will be happening in the next 24 hours. I will catch you next week, where hopefully the only way is up and things will have got better for the sides who got rinsed this week. This is Football Treasury. I'm Andy Whitelaw. I'll see you next time.